John chapter 11, naturally speaking, Jesus is getting ready to do the impossible, and he's getting ready to blow the minds of people who are watching and possibly thinking that he's gone crazy. In this story, Jesus arrives at the burial site of his friend Lazarus, who had been dead now 4 days, and whom the Bible says Jesus loved very much. And he begins to order the stone in front of Lazarus' tomb to be removed because he's getting ready to speak life into someone who's been dead now 4 days. Jesus is about to show the people, no matter how dead something in your life may be and it looks, it's never over when you bring them into your situation. So as Jesus is getting ready to pray and give the command, Martha, the sister of Lazarus, says to Jesus, "But Lord, it's been 4 days since he's died. By now, his body is already decomposing." And in verse 40, Jesus replies to her, and he restates what he had told her earlier. He said, "Didn't I tell you, Martha, that if you believe in me, you would see God unveil his power?" Now listen, to everyone who is watching and listening to this broadcast or listening to this podcast, let me just remind you, in case you have forgotten or you have allowed the spirit of this world to convince you otherwise, believing is still God's requirement for the miraculous to manifest in our lives. Many times in life, we want to see some type of manifestation in order for us to be fully committed or fully convinced of the power of God. But true Bible faith is not waiting for the manifestation. True Bible faith is being convinced that God is able to do what he has declared. It's being convinced that his plan for your life will prevail even while in the middle of your greatest battle. It's being persuaded that what he has spoken, he is willing and able to perform. Now, I believe where a lot of people get stuck is on the willingness of Jesus to heal, deliver, and set free. But Jesus showed us in the Gospels, and he answered that question once and for all when the leper stretched out his hand and said, "Listen, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me whole." And then the Bible shows us that Jesus looks back at this man who's filled with leprosy, and he looks him square in the eyes, and he says, "Listen, I am willing, be made whole." And that's, my friend, what faith in his word will do for you today. It will resurrect and bring life to those things that were once dead. Friend, listen, I'm here to tell you, God can resurrect that dream you once had and bring it back to life. If your hopes have been shattered, faith will bring the pieces together and make it whole again. If you will allow God, listen, there is nothing that faith in him cannot do. Now, as we look at Lazarus, if there was anything or anyone that was dead and had no life, it was him. But with one word spoken by Jesus, who was the Christ, the anointed one, the Bible says while he was already dead 4 days and wrapped in grave clothes, Lazarus came out of that tomb at the command of Jesus. And what that says to me is this, that no matter how dead a situation may be in your life, if God can see faith, then God can turn your situation around. So I want to encourage you today by saying this: there's nothing difficult and hard. There's nothing so far out of reach that the power of God cannot step in and intervene on your behalf. Listen, I'm not denying, for those of you that are watching and listening, that you are not facing some real situations in your life or facing some tremendous mountains in your life. Because if some of you could be honest and transparent, you would say that you're probably in the biggest battle of your life right now. But my friend, I want to encourage you that greater than every battle and greater than every challenge is the power of God that you have working for you. The Bible says that power is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that you could ever ask or think. So I want to leave you with these comforting words from the lips of Jesus. If you will believe, you will see the glory of God. And those things that may lay dormant in your life, by the power of God, will be resurrected to life in Jesus' mighty name.